So the very first book that I want to share with you guys is now becoming, or is a classic, which is The Divine Reality. I've shared this with you guys many times before as well. It's a book Hamza wrote. Hamza Dortzis. May Allah bless him. And this is actually a phenomenal book. Now, I haven't read this recently, although I intend on reading it or going over some of the sections again, because there's some videos that, inshallah, I'm planning on doing with Sapiens. But it's a brilliant book, brothers and sisters. It's probably the best book. Look, let's put it this way. Sometimes you guys want books on philosophy and, stuff like this. This is an atheism and things like this. If there's only one book you guys read, which is related to the topic of philosophy, atheism, Islam, this is the book. This is the book. If you read this, you would never need to read another book in regards to atheism, philosophical arguments for the existence of God, in regards to arguments atheists make against God. It's all here, and it's very simple, very easy to read, and it's been translated as well. So it's been translated into Arabic, and it's being translated into Urdu, I think, as well. So this I can't recommend more. It's a phenomenal book. I remember first reading it when Hamza was in draft stage, and I was shocked. One of the things that shocked me was because, mashallah, Hamza's use of the English language is quite brilliant. He uses some big words, mashallah. And when I read the book, I was expecting, okay, this is going to be, because normally when you read a book, right, when you read a book by a professor, for example, and they may speak in a way which may be slightly confusing sometimes, but when they write, especially academic type books, man, they give you a headache because it's very hard to understand. It's in German as well, as Henry said, mashallah. Yeah, absolutely, it's in German as well. So yeah, when you read a book by a professor, they write in language which is very difficult to understand. So when Hamza said he's writing a book, and I was expecting it before I read it, I was expecting that this is going to be a absolute, nightmare to read. But I was surprised, pleasantly surprised. It was shockingly surprised because it was so easy to read. The beautiful thing about this book is that it covers deep theological and philosophical points, but it does it in such simple language, and it's accessible. And he uses, examples, he gives stories. Each chapter, each argument, he starts off with this type of analogy. It's sometimes in the form of a story, a little thought experiment, whatever it is. And it's powerful because if you just read the introduction of each chapter, you've got the gist of the argument, right? You don't have to read further, although you should, because he then breaks down the arguments in a very simple, logical way. So I guess what's beautiful about this book, and one of the amazing things Hamza has been able to achieve in The Divine Reality, is he's taken sometimes complex arguments, simplified the arguments, used simple language, but at the same time maintained its logical form. So it's brilliant. It's really, really amazing the way he's written this. So this is the one book if you're interested in atheism, philosophy, etc.